I want to share a really important feature in Showbie where we can adapt the content we're sharing to share it with individual groups of students. We can start scaffolding learners in different ways, and how we can have complete control of where the content is being shared within our assignments. So right now on the materials section, you're going to see at the top here in blue, it says that content is being shared with everyone. And that just means that we're sharing anything we upload with everyone in our class on Showbie that can access this assignment. But sometimes you might not want to do that. Maybe you want to prepare ahead of the lesson for the next day, and you want to upload all the resources there, but you don't want your students to see everything at the start of the lesson. Well, if I tap on here, I can then select no students. And then it's going to say sharing with teachers only. Now, anything that I upload is only going to be seen by me and co-teachers in my class. Now that's really handy because later on in the lesson, we're going to look at the lunar gateway that NASA are building. So I'm going to put a little instructional message on there now, and then upload a PDF resource I've got on my device. So I'll press the plus button, I'll import a document, and I'm going to find that document in the files browser on my device. When I've then uploaded that document, you can see on the right-hand side, both the message and the document say teachers only in blue. And that means that no students can see this yet. Even when the assignment is unlocked and available for them, they're not going to see these two resources. And what's great here is that I want to set this as home learning for them to do later on this evening. And I'm going to create a screen recording that I can unlock when the students have left, which means that they can go back and see the input even when I'm not there. So for direct instruction, Showbie is an awesome tool because we can do all of this in the app itself. Obviously, we can model it straight to the class through the projector or the screen, but we can also do it via screen recording to share in the future. So I'll press the plus button and then screen recording. And now you're going to see my little face in the corner, my actual face, not an emoji face. You can also see everything in Showbie is still there on the screen. And that means when I press record at the bottom, everything that you can see right now, your students will see in that recording. And with that little video in the corner, I can make it full screen if I want to as well. That means if I wanted to introduce a particular activity or topic without showing what's on the screen, they can just watch me instead. But what I don't want is I don't want my students to see me going through Showbie and trying to find the document and opening it up. I want this to be a really concise and clear screen recording so they can get straight into their activity without being distracted by everything else. So I'm going to tap onto the activity I want to work on, which is that document I uploaded just now, and then I can move my little video feed to the top right corner so it's not in the way. Now, when I press record at the bottom, I can narrate the activity, I can explain the learning, I can get really stuck into the project. And because I have all of those tools at the top of the activity, I can use that to highlight, to draw attention to different things, and I can even pinch and zoom. Remember, everything that you can see on the screen right now will be saved in that screen recording. So I can then explain the whole task, and when I'm finished, I can simply press stop. At this point, we can edit that recording slightly if we need to, and then we can choose to share the original video or a high resolution or a medium resolution version. You'll see the little file size there as well. The high resolution is actually quite a lot smaller and the quality is still great in my experience. I generally do that when my internet's a little bit slower, or when the student's internet is slow as well. Then it's going to appear in the assignment feed just like everything else, and my students can use that as a resource later. Except they can't, because right now it's being shared with teachers only. Let's look at how we change that. All I'm going to do is tap on the blue writing that says teachers only, and from here I can then select any or all of my students in the class. That means I can simply go through and choose who's going to get this activity. And the minute I press done, it will appear on their accounts immediately. I'm going to choose to give this to 3 students right now. I'm going to simply tap the names that I want to choose and then press done. And that means if I go onto Bianca's name, for example, you can see she hasn't got that activity shared with her. But if I go onto Eliza, it is therefore that student. You can also do this the opposite way around as well. If I go back to materials and go back to that mind map, here it's currently sharing with everyone. But if I tap on there, I can deselect certain students. That means they won't see it on their assignment, whereas some students will. So you can really customize who gets what here. And you can see that I've used this to kind of scaffold different activities for different learners. But we can also use it to share extension activities for the highest achievers. And we can have these ready to go in Showbie, shared with no one, and then we can simply enable it in the moment when they're ready to move on. So we can really prepare the bank of resources for our lesson way ahead of time if we want to, and then control who gets what and when with simply a few taps on the screen.